Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala syarafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, we are continuing with our program on how we're going to apply the growth model of approaching coaching. When we do coaching, we have this model. In motivation, we have the 6P GNL model, which I have covered. Now we are explaining to you the growth model, GROWTH, and this acronym, as mentioned earlier on. G is for goal. How are you going to teach our coachee or our client, people who we are coaching, the goal, whether it's a goal in life, whether it's a spiritual goal, whether it is an emotional goal, whether it is a physical goal, whether it is a mental goal. What are the goals? Then we have G is for goal. After G, then we have the reality check. What is the current reality and how we are going to use templates to resolve the current reality? What are the situational conditions that our coachee is facing? Then O is for what are the obstacles and the options available for them to actually transform or reform themselves to achieve a balance in life, or to overcome their sadness or their difficulties or their fear, their worries, and so on. Then W is the way forward, application of their will, how we're going to use your will and the way forward. T is threat, tactics. T is for the tactics that you're going to teach them as a coach. And H is how you're going to help them build long-term habits over their lifetime, so that they can become an achievers in life in whatever area of achievement that they want to achieve. So this is what we call the growth model, GROWTH. So when we talk about goals, there are many goals. So from the Islamic perspective, we have various levels of goals in which we have to do some exploration or some sort of understanding. And we have a template, we call this the SEMP template. So for example, these are the SEMP goals. What do you want to get that person to figure out a way forward in terms of their goals? What are their goals for their physical aspect of their life? What are the physical aspect of their life? It could be the financial aspect, it could be the health aspect, they are overweight, it could be their situational conditions in terms of their lifestyle. So those are the physical thing. The akal, the mind aspect, is more of the intellectual aspect. We take this as covering, for example, the need for increase of their knowledge, application of that knowledge for a specific skills. All right. The E would be the relationship aspect, intrapersonal and interpersonal. So this is the cult aspect of the cult, and the spiritual is aspect of the roh, aspect of religion, aspect of Islam, ihsan, iman, and things like that. So when we set these SEMP goals, we must open the door to them, because our approach is Islamic, and our approach is positive Islamic psychology. So positive Islamic psychology will entail these four domains of our existence on this earth. Maybe as we talk about goals for a person who are brought up in a secular materialistic lifestyle, it is very difficult for you to enter straight away into a discussion of how are you going to talk about their spirituality, because they may not even understand. They may have any clue. Yes, I'm a Muslim, but I was never a practicing Muslim, or my parents never teach me what Islam is all about. I have only my name, Abdul Karim, or Safia, whatever is there. We have Muslim names, but they never practiced, they never had an understanding of the nature of Islam, and now they are in a situation where they have a dilemma, they have a problem. So it is always easier for us to go from the hierarchy of goal setting. We can always go at the lower level, starting with the physical goal setting, and then the aspect of the mind or the akal, and then the aspect of the emotion and the qalb, and then the aspect of the ruh, alright, ruhaniyah. So How are you going to go about with it? This is a simple template. You can modify this template. Okay? Every one of us will have a goal. Alright? So for example, a person comes to you. For example, especially if she, for example, she's a young lady and she's overweight and she finds herself not attractive. Alright? And she is in depression. She is depressed, very sad, feel like, harming herself or and things like that. So she has this whole idea of this whole idea that you must be of a certain weight, of a certain shape, because of the media. The media will portray TV stars, film stars, models, and so on. They are as thin as a candlestick. All right, but that is not the reality. The reality is that we have, for example, like in most developed countries, developing countries even, like in Malaysia, we have a very high level of obesity because of diet, because of lifestyle, because of fast food, junk food, and so on. So that could be the problem. So they are only interested in, I want to overcome my current situation of my weight, so I want to lose weight. So at this level, can you talk about the mind, the emotion, the spirit? The spirit is too far off. You're talking about religion, you're talking about, ibadah, you're talking about remembering of Allah, and so on. It could be a goal that you can insert at a later level. Alright, so always in your goal planning and goal direction for the person, you try to give a coach insofar as what are their current problem. Then you can insert certain aspect of the mind, because if you want to lose weight, for example, you must have willpower, mind. So how this aspect is going to play into your goal setting. You also go into the aspect of your emotion. How is your relationship with food? You're right, emotional aspect. Or how is your relationship within the family? Are all the family members obese, and so on? And what are their lifestyle? Are they going out, always going to the fast food restaurant, eating fast food, junk food? And then later on, then you can go to the spiritual realm. All right. So I'm going to give you an overview now, because when we talk about physical, this is very easy. You're talking about somebody says, I don't have money. I want to have more money so that I can have a better lifestyle. So that is their goal. Their goal is that, okay, they are now earning, say for example, 1,000 ringgit a month, which is barely enough for them to survive. They want to have a goal of earning 3,000 ringgit a month. So you are going to mentor them in terms of, okay, how they're going to go about with it. Maybe find another job, maybe go into entrepreneurship, part-time business, maybe. So these maybe are the goals that you have to link to them to build the connection first. So this physical goal, I'll give you another chart at a later video, is something that you have to explore. Alright, no doubt. Our role is SEMP. We start with the P and then we move upward. Alright, the M aspect, the E aspect, then finally the S aspect, the spiritual aspect. So once you understand the flow, you will not go into a shock therapy kind of situation where you, as if you know everything. Because coaching doesn't mean that you know everything. Coaching is to explore the inner quest of that person, letting it out from their self. And then what your role is, more an advisory role. You're not going to give a solution. Alright, for example, I take the example just now, is this young lady who is overweight. Your role is not to say, okay, you must do this, you do this, you do this. You see, I do this, now I have lost my weight. You and her are entirely different personality, different person, different will, different situation, so many differences. Alright, so it's very important for us to see within the context of the 21st century. And the context of the 21st century is that literally every one of us, especially the young people, they're influenced by the social media, they're influenced by their Facebook, they're influenced by the YouTube, they're influenced by the advertisement, and their whole life revolves around having. That means it's a consumption-based desire. It is based on the nafs. And we know, As a coach, when you're trained in positive Islamic psychology, you know this is the play of the nafs, nafsul ammara, the nafs, the lower nafs. You want to talk about nafsul mutmainnah, the higher nafs. It's not that easy. All right. So it is a journey. That means you have to journey them. That's why we have our hierarchy of level in terms of giving them motivation first, which I have given you, the 6 PGNL, how you can infuse this idea of motivation. Then you coach them, all right, then you mentor them, and then finally you counsel them. So we have this 4 hierarchy or 4 methodology, cascading upwards. The same thing here. We are cascading upward from the physical realm, aspects of physical existence, to the mind, to the emotion, and to the spirit. And sometimes you have to take a little bit of this, 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 but it is more of a nasiha. It's an advisory role. It is more like exploring whether they can accept it or not, and not to upset them. Because suddenly you get this person who are overweight, you talked about how to overcome the overweight, and then suddenly you insert, okay, you must pray 5 times a day. That is nothing to do with her goal. Her goal is not, she's not interested in praying 5 times a day. So you just cannot come in as a coach, oh, you must pray 5 times a day, because you are a Muslim. Well, she never prayed, she never had any idea what prayer is all about. You cannot just suddenly jump into this and say, okay, you must pray. Then you can lose weight. No, it doesn't work that way. All right? So that's why it's very important in goal setting, you must be the hearing voice for the person. Even though you know the voice, the inner voice from that person, the inner speech of that person is negative, it is also very self-contradictory, it is also very depressing, it is also very not motivating for you. But you have undertaken this role to be that person coach. So if you are doing that, then you must be able to prepare yourself. You as a coach must be prepared yourself to strengthen your iman, Islam and ihsan, strengthen your spiritual, emotional, mental and physical well-being, because you're going to be a coach, and you can be for example a role model to a certain extent, but not in the sense of imposition of your will, imposition of your goals to that person. Each and every one of us will have our goal, and each and every one of us will have many differences. All right, so if for us to be able to understand first the physical goal in terms of this dunya, all right, whether it is weight loss, whether it is health, whether it is money, situation revolving that, not being able to pay the school fees or the university tuition, not being able to buy something, so many things that sometimes you can understand this as quite in a way unattainable. Some of them, they want to have a lifestyle, they want to travel because they see the film star travel here, travel there, they see all the videos and so on. So they have this desire, but they could not afford it, and that caused them to go into a state of self-denial, or a state of spending more money on their credit card, because now this is the world of plastic money. So you just spend and then get into trouble, cannot pay the bank, and then they get into more trouble. So these are the kind of thing that you are seeing every day. Large number of young people are being declared bankrupt. Why? Because the desire, the physical desire is such, and the whole world of this dunya in the 21st century is conspiring to make them a bankrupt, to make them a person of no achievement. So our goal is to help them achieve a decent goal in which we can elaborate. Okay, so in terms of the SEMP goal, remember, always start with the physical aspect in which they are going to tell you, and then fuse it with a little bit of in terms of the development of their mind, in terms of their willpower, in terms of the knowledge that they have. Fuse them a little bit with their aspect of their and interpersonal emotion development, and fuse them with the reliance and tawakkal on Allah on a stage to stage, gradual basis, always having the focus on your coachee. The person who you coach, that is your focus, not you. You are just somebody there to hold his or her hand along the path towards becoming a wholesome person, towards becoming a good Muslim, towards becoming an achievers in life, that is receiving the grace, the goodness and the happiness of this world and the hereafter, inshallah. Always striving, knowing that we are the sincere servant of Allah and His Khalifa, always striving to make ourselves good, help others to be good, and make the world good, inshallah.